Nigeria now has only 18 political parties after the deregistration of 74 of them for failing to meet the constitutional requirements to exist. The move by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) was taken following a review of their performance after the 2019 general election. Former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Tanko Yunusa, joins us now to discuss this major development. Thank you for finding time to join us. According to INEC, your party, the National Conscience Party, is now defunct. I learned that your initial reaction was that INEC's decision was hasty because of an ongoing court trial. INEC, on the other side, says the fact that you filed the motion in court doesn't necessarily deter it from taking that decision. How do you react to that?
Quickly, let me just make a reference that I just got this letter of INEC this evening, and this is what the letter reads. It says, Section 225 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are thereby deregistered because of that particular inability to perform within the 225A. Now, what does 225A say? The 225 says that if you do not win an election, a presidential election, or 25% of the seat, 75% of election casted, and then governorship seat, or Federal House of Rep or Senate, or at most, you must have a councillorship election or local government chairman. Now, as it is today, it's very, very unhealthy to say that the election of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, especially into local government election, have not been concluded. You can attest to it that this election is still ongoing. Unfortunately, INEC spokesman was alluding to the fact that they used the FCT chapter. And as far as I can remember, according to a Supreme Court ruling where Section 3-1 was mentioned, FCT was never considered as local government council. This is on a case with the Federal AG Federation as against Abia State Attorney General. So these are clear manifestations to show you that the process of the registration has not been duly followed by INEC. And we feel that INEC is just playing a script in order to deregister political party who have stood so firmly in the interest of the party. And above all, anyway, what sense does it really make when we are very much aware that INEC has about 100 unregistered associations waiting to be registered. Now, you are deregistering 74, so it means that you are going to deregister 74 and add 100.
I get your point clearly, Dr. Tanko. You recall that according to INEC, this constitutional provision is now enacted for the continuity of these parties, and it absolutely has nothing to do with their registration. But let's talk about the implication of this long list of parties on our system as a nation. You saw what happened in 2019, where we had about 93 parties contesting an election. It took us longer time to count the votes, and you can tell precisely that many of these parties did not even come to the party. How do we begin to sanitize this process? Dr. Tanko, can you hear me?
Hello.
I'm asking that how do we sanitize a process where we had too many parties contesting in an election and many of them are actually not really participating, not contenders in the real sense of it?
If you are asking me, because I didn't hear you very well, if you're asking me about how do we sanitize the electoral process as regard to probably the long list of political parties has been ascribed, the fact still remains that INEC need to fashion out a way in which all the we use electronic system of voting so that it will be more encompassing and carry everybody along. We have a situation in our country where we pick and choose the kind of laws we want to follow. I give an example. There is never a time in which INEC declare any vacant seats against those new political parties who have struggled hard to win election. Like for NCP, for example, we won election in 2003, and the person jumped ship and go to PDP. But that seat was never declared vacant, And then the election, people just carry along, and then we were not protected. And the same thing happened in some of the elections that is happening in Imo State and all. So we have a system in this country that is not protecting even those political parties who are yawning and performing equitably well to ensure that gets the maximum electoral process. And really, to say the least, INEC need to go back to a drawing board where we will have to sit together and discuss matters on how our electioneering and democratic setting will go. But as it is today now, democracy is in danger, and then this particular process of the registration of political party is targeted towards masses-based orientation political party like the National Conscience Party.
Dr. Yunusa Tankos, the former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, thank you for talking to us on the news at this hour.